Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Vo, and welcome to another episode of the Backstage Podcast. Man, I am super excited to have our guest here. It is Rick Cromar with Valeri Labs, Peak Dental Studio, Super Dad. I mean, you name it. There's so many hats that he wears, but he is an overall great guy. Rick, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Glenn, it is an honor to be here with you. Thank you.
Man, I mean, look, you're so busy, you're everywhere. You're giving so much value to everyone. I know we're going to talk about the lab, but before we get into that, there's an origin story, right? It starts somewhere, and you have been in part of dentistry for quite some time, and I have to ask you, why did you want to work with us crazy dental professionals, man? Let someone someone like pull you into it. Like, let's start there. Like, how did you get involved with working with crazy dental professionals? I guess because you got to be a little crazy, right? But you also have to be really giving as well. And the giving part, I'll give you that. Like, you are bring so much value there. But what motivated you to want to work with folks like us?
It's such a great question. I had no idea what I was getting myself into back in 2019. It was January 2019, and I got approached by my good friend Chad Rasmussen. He said, "Hey, I need you to go talk to my good friend Brian Ferry. He's doing this thing with Airway and Dennis. You go check it out first, and then if it's good, let me know." So I went out and met with Brian at his home, and he started to talk to me about, obstructive sleep apnea and the epidemic that it is, and that this amazing, Dr. Dave Singh had identified the underlying cause to obstructive sleep apnea and had figured out a solution to that with a potential end date, rather than people being on the CPAP forever. And so anyway, I started to learn about all this stuff, and he dubbed the treatment called pneumopedics. And what is pneumopedics? Pneumopedics is the physiologic remodeling of the upper airway via naturally occurring and treatment-induced changes over a specific period of time. And so I dove in, I started to learn everything about airway, got on board with, traveling all over the world, with doctors and dentists, and involved with Dr. Gordon J. Christensen, got on his cruise, and just started doing some amazing things, working with Dr. Michael Bennett. And then I ended up taking this, treatment protocol all over the world, and just had an amazing time doing it, and realized, man, these dentists, they're so important. They're
Yeah.
so important. They're so key to healing, and also they're entrepreneurs, and they're awesome, and they're fun, and they just want to have and provide an amazing service to everybody. And so I just fell in love with it.
I love that. I love that. And it's definitely continuing in the lab space with who you're with, like Valeri Labs and Peak Dental Studio. And the one thing that I was just so excited about is when we sat down and we talked, and you told me about the labs that you're representing and that you're working with and the people behind it. You didn't say, "Hey, I got this one lab and this is the price and that's it. And if it doesn't fit in your practice, so be it. You can just leave." You actually said, we actually understand that in the dental professional, much like our country, right? There's a product and there's a service and there's a price point for everybody. And I want to ask you about that, like because again, it's very rare to find a lab that has all the services and all the products that makes it really inclusive of everyone. There's certain labs that are like, okay, this is for your bread and butter and that's it. We have this lab and it's really is all high end and that's it. But what you've done is you created like a platform, labs that can really take care of all dentists. Talk about why that was so important to you and your partners in this venture to have not only just one product for one type of practice, but really you have like multiple products that could actually help everyone in the industry.
Yeah, so really where this kind of transition into the lab space for me was I was working with, like I said, Dr. Michael Bennett, and then back in May, his son approached me, and actually Vivos ended up buying his lab. He'd owned his lab for like a decade, and they ended up
Yeah.
buying it. And he ended up, coming over here with Peak and the Valeri Group, and he said, "Hey, Rick, um, we're doing this amazing thing. We want to have you part of this. And they brought me over, and it's been amazing. So Peak has been doing this for over a decade as well. And what we realized is that there's an opportunity to provide like a local lab feel, but
Yeah.
also be able to scale it out and offer incredible pricing at the same time. And I think where a lot of people miss in this space is providing exceptional customer service and exceptional communication. And those are the things that, I've told our team here where we're going to win is in this ability to provide incredible service, make it feel like it's this local lab, that they can actually get an immediate response. And so I've just done this really cool thing where I tie the dentist with the technician, with myself, with customer success, and they are absolutely loving it because they're not left waiting, 24, 48 hours to get a response. They get it virtually immediately. And so they just feel heard and seen. And then they can have their turnaround time. And if we have to do a remake, because not everything's perfect, if we have to do a remake, it because of the way we communicate, it all flows so fluidly that there's just resolve.
Well, and the one thing that I keep on hearing right away here, right, that's resonating with me is that you're talking about communication. And I'm going to be honest with you. Look, I've been a dentist for almost 20 years, right? And when you say good communication in lab, it almost is like, what did you just say? Because it's almost kind of like saying go into the DMV and being seen right away, right? It doesn't make
Yes.
sense, right? And unfortunately, right now, to the detriment of us, because you and I travel a lot, TSA and fast is not like hopefully things will change, but TSA and fast is like going hand in hand. And the
Yep.
fact that you said lab and communication there, um, talk about talk about why that's so important because honestly that's not the case. There's little communication, there's a lot of back and forth, there's a lot of inefficiency there. Why is that so important to you guys? Because again, it is something that is it probably takes a lot of work on your end, right? And if the status quo has been, you know what, sometimes the dog's gonna have to wait, they're gonna have to wait like 48 hours, 72 hours to get a response. Maybe it doesn't make sense financially. That's why they operate that. I don't know. But why is it so important for you guys to really go against the trend of what the labs have been doing for years? Why is it so important for you guys to change that? Because honestly, it might end up costing you guys a little bit more money because, of having all the people be really on top of things. Why is that so important to you guys?
Glenn is so important because when there is a remake that needs to happen or there is a delay, the patient is blaming who?
Us.
The dentist.
Yeah.
They're not blaming the lab. And I think that that's where there's a big miss is this understanding that, look, we are an extension of who? We're an extension of you.
Yeah.
So if we're late, if we're causing a delay, if we're causing, any type of mishap there, it's not so much a reflection of us as it is of you. And then that ends up hurting your brand, your relationship with the patient. We understand that. We don't want that to be the case. We want you to win. We want you to be the hero. We'll be the hidden, the hidden partner behind the scene.
Yeah.
We don't need that. You do, right? And when you win, we win. And that's all that matters.
So let's go into like the products, right? So again, I've kind of talked about how you have a full service lab and you have there's a product for everyone from the high end very ultra high aesthetics in cosmetic cases to the bread and butter dentistry where the aesthetics is not as much as price is probably a little bit more important. So talk about the offerings that you guys have. And again, after you talk about that, talk about like when someone reaches out. Obviously, we're gonna talk about best way to reach out and work with you. Um, where do we go at that point? Let's talk about that, but let's talk about the offerings. What do you guys offer? I mean, obviously, we talked about Crown and Bridge and whatnot, but you said that's a full service. Do you offer everything? Talk about those things.
Yeah, we really do offer everything under the sun. And so on our peak side of things, you can really look at it as we have like an economy and premium class, right?
Okay.
And so on the peak side of things, we're going to have incredible pricing. And really, because of the way that we're doing this with our affiliates and our associations through our group, right? We're going to be able to offer group pricing for
Wow.
dentists that may not necessarily be part of a big DSO or a
Yeah.
big, right? And so that's the benefit of being able to work with somebody like you and those that we're also associated with in our group is pricing. And so we have our everyday bread and butter through Peak, and then we have our Pacific line, and that's going to be your very, very high detailed, high craftsmanship art, and it's a beautiful, beautiful work. And so our labs are Japanese trained technicians, and then we have also on the other side of it, the very high craftsmanship that's being done. That's right here in the heart of, Santa Maria, California. And
Yeah.
so our turnaround time is 2 weeks, 10 business days. If we do need to escalate something, we can. If it's done through your digital scanner, it's really probably going to be done in 8. And so our turnaround time is great. And it really just boils down to the relationship. Like you said,
Yeah.
the relationship is key. And we have a 97 plus percent retention rate
Wow.
uh, and doing this for over a decade.
Yeah.
So this is the place you want to land if you want to have incredible service, incredible communication, and incredible pricing.
And so when people reach out, we're going to talk about what's the best way when they reach out. How do they figure out where to go in the ecosystem of your lab network? Is that something like you guys do an onboarding and you kind of understand like what is important to them? How does that work? And talk about how that personal touch is kind of what separates you guys from the other labs out there.
Yeah, number one, it's super easy to create an account with Peak. You basically just go to our, peakdentalstudio.com. You'll click on partnership, and then literally it's just going to walk you through creating the account, doctor preferences, connecting your digital scanner, and then we receive that information. You're gonna get a beautiful welcome kit. You're going to get your pricing. If you're associated with one of our affiliates, you're going to put in your affiliate code and just make sure that you get that from whoever your affiliate is so
Hmm.
that you get that special group pricing. And and even if you're not on our special group pricing, our everyday pricing will still outcompete just about anybody anyway,
Yeah.
right? So it really is a win-win for everybody that ends up coming over and working with our group over here at Peak Dental.
All right, so there you go. That's pretty easy to sign up. And again, guys, I mean, there's always different promos and whatnot, and Rick can share that with
We
you. Their
do.
team.
We actually do have a really great promo right now.
Well, tell me
Is
what is it?
any new account that signs on right now, we're going to offer your first 5 full crown zirconia free.
Wow, wow. Okay, so I have to ask you this. I mean, you didn't say just one. You didn't say just two. You didn't say just three. You said five.
5.
Okay. That is a huge commitment. Why? First of all, that's amazing. That's super generous. But why did you guys want to go so much more than the average lab that says, "Hey, we'll do a free case"? You guys over delivered there. Why? And again, you're already over delivering a lot when it comes to communication and having all the products, right? You guys are over delivering, but why over deliver here as well? Why is that so important to you guys?
Because everybody currently already has a lab.
Yeah,
Right. And so transitioning to something new can also feel a little bit of uncertainty in that.
sure.
Right. And so it's like, hey, you know what? One zirconia is not enough. Two's not enough. We want to build that trust for you to say, wow, wow, okay, these guys have completely won us over. We feel so confident in what they're doing here. and the level of value and trust that they're creating with us, we're going to go ahead and make the switch. And so
I
that's
love
why
that.
we figured that five was a good number because it's really going to allow the dentist, their front office, the team to go, you know what? These guys are everything that they said that they are. Let's go ahead and do that. And
I
so
mean,
that's why
you're putting, I mean, look, guys, Rick and his team, they're literally putting their money where their mouth is,
there
right?
it is.
Like by five, I mean, if you guys aren't convinced, I don't know what else you guys need, right? But I love that. That is a super deal. So again, we will have all that information, how to work with Rick and how to sign up and as you guys figure out like the preferences of your office, right? As they do that, they will pair you up with the right thing. Rick, before we log off here, what is your message to the people who are watching and listening right now who like your story and considering lab? What is your message to them before we jump off here?
Look, give us a try. You
There you
have
go.
literally nothing to lose, everything to gain, and you're absolutely gonna love working with Peak Dental Studio.
I love it. I love it. Rick, thank you so much for jumping on. Guys, check them out. Again, I don't know how risk free is almost risk free, right? When
Risk
you
free.
have five cases there. So again, whether you're the dentist, whether you're the team members, whether you're a consultant or someone else watching, look, I mean, what better way to help your clients by sending them over here and helping them save some money with the lab cases?
And Glenn, and here's the other thing. Some of these practices, they do their own crowns in-house. So for if that's you, instead of the five full crown zirconia, we'll do you can do $265 value towards any other lab of choice through Peak if that's the case.
I
So
love it.
if it's a partial or a denture or something that you want to do, get it in, we'll apply the credit and let's make it happen.
There you go. I love it. Over delivering again. Rick, thank you so much for jumping on, guys. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you, Glenn.